Alrighty, how's it going, Mets and overall baseball fans? Thank you guys so much for chiming in for the latest post-game show here on WardyNYM. And as you guys can see, I'm on location, not my normal setup. I'm with a group of amazing YouTubers as we're going to be playing a couple games this week against basically some pro ball players. It's going to be crazy, but regardless, we got to get the post-game in because the Mets, another day, another victory, another series victory, this time a 10-0 blowout win against the Washington Nationals. That always feels electric. So guys, everyone first chiming into the show, thank you all so much for being here. Make sure to smash that like and subscribe on. Help us get to 100 likes for the first short-term goal and help us get to 16K subs for the next short-term goal here on the largest Mets platform, not directly affiliated with the Mets or SNY here on YouTube. Guys, what a massive win for the Amazons, guys. Winning 13-5 in the opener yesterday felt so good as is, but to see them come out today with another series victory, 5 straight wins on the year. This Mets team, they're at least 16, 17 games above 500. I will take that any day of the week. Thank you guys so much for the donations. If you know the drill, I'll be getting them soon after I break down this massive victory for the Amazons. And again, don't get me wrong, this was a game that, yes, I know you're playing the Nationals, but this is a game where Patrick Corbin, the Mets did not have the upper hand on previously this season. Finally, they jump on the lefty, and early in this one, what a massive outing again for this team to come out and to score 25 runs in the first 2 games. They have already scored a total of feels like 100 runs over the past week. That's how dominant this Mets offense has been. And this is something that hasn't been sporadic in the lineup. This has been consistent 1 through 9. Mark Hanna in the leadoff spot tonight as Brandon Nimmo still healing up. He came in as a defensive replacement later in tonight's game, which was awesome to see. But regardless, Canna and leadoff Gorman in the bottom of the order, not a problem. Canna was one of the best stars of the night for the Mets, going 4 for 5 with the double, the 2 RBIs, and the 2 runs scored. And guys, I just want to know how you're feeling. Again, continue smashing that like and subscribe one. What an absolutely massive victory for the Amazons. But let's just get right into this game, guys. Like I said, it was a whirlwind, and it started off early. And what did it start with? It started with the man who hit himself a 2-run shot yesterday, 4 RBIs in the series opener. He does the exact same thing tonight for the Amazons in the bottom of the first off of Corbin. It's Starling Marte with his 6th bomb of the season, a dead center shot, and that home run was impressive, but the catch was even more impressive as we saw a father there in center with his kid in his hand doing the best impression. You know when you see fans with a beer in their hand and catching home runs and wanting to scream because they know that shit really hurt? Well, no less, he has his kid in his hand and he snags that dead center bomb. So kudos to not just Marte, but the fan who made that beautiful catch. And again, guys, in case you're wondering where I am, in case you're wondering why this setup is the way it is, I'm currently on location, North Carolina. I'm playing a baseball game against the Burlington Sock Puppets tomorrow. I'll be playing another baseball game later this week against, yes, that being in the Salem, the Disco Turkeys? What a name. If you guys want to check it out, I'll be streaming on numerous platforms. All the biggest baseball content creators you could think of will be there, and it'll be streaming on their channels, so make sure to check it out. But again, thank you guys all so much again for chiming in. Continue smashing that like and subscribe on. Noah Syndergaard did not step up in New York today for the Yanks too. That's a discussion for another day, right? But regardless, guys, I would like to just mention, because I didn't update you guys earlier, as all you know by now, Dom Smith was sent to AAA. That is a big move for the Mets, and I'm honestly proud of the Mets, because don't get me wrong, I love Dom, and I'm happy that he's sent down, though, to see him try to get in the better mentality, try to thrive. They try to build his trade value, but this man, when you're hitting below the Mendoza line 50 games into the season, there's an issue. I feel that they have given him enough opportunity, and he hasn't succeeded. And Nick Plummer, even though Plummer didn't have the start tonight, he's had more home runs than JD and Dom combined this entire season in his first 2 career starts as a New York Met. So that tells you something. Shout out Plummer, but unfortunately for Dom, again, it sucks that this looks like that this is the quick downward spiral for his time in a New York Mets uniform, but no less, I felt the move had to be done, and of course, Adonis Medina was caught up today and did pitch a scoreless inning for the Mets to get the non-save situation there in the top of the 9th inning. But going forward here in the offense, guys, how are they blowing things up? Again, so many guys had so many hits. If you see Wardy's top 5 here, I couldn't even throw Jeff Mcneal in this one when he had himself 3 hits on the night, which was great. But we get to the bottom of the 3rd, and Luis Gorman, he's batting 7th, no problem for one of the best hitters in baseball throughout the month of May. Gorman has been unstoppable. He gets himself a base knock, which was a ground ball to left field. Pete Alonso ends up scoring a J.D. Davis, and then Jeff McNeal shifted second. So a 2 RBI single there for Gorman. Gorman wasn't just great with the offense again tonight, but he was also great with the glove per usual. Then as we go forward, guys, offensively, and again, I'm going to talk about the offense, then I'll get into the pitching because I have a lot to say about Trevor Williams, and in my opinion, his best outing so far, not just this season, but arguably his best as a New York Met. It doesn't matter that it's against the Nationals. Give credit where credit's due, and Trevor Williams surely deserves, as a guy that's gotten thrown in whenever the Mets have needed him to, as a long reliever, a spot starter. He gets the brunt of the work for the Mets in the sense that he has no clue for the most part when he's going to be in. Yes, he's had a better grasp knowing he'll be in the rotation as of late, but outside of that, he gets those terrible innings when the Mets are normally getting blown out, and he's been huge helping the Mets eat innings for the bullpen, and he did the same exact today, going 5 scoreless for them. But as we add on more for the Mets, Mark Canha was the story for them. The Amazings, one of the great stories for them, my humble opinion, with the offense tonight. Canha didn't just have 4 hits, but it also included an awesome double that led to 2 runs, scoring a 2 RBI double there for Mark Canha. That was already, his 3rd or 4th hit of the night in the bottom of the 5th inning. This was another extended game for the Mets, and they continue to tack on runs. It doesn't matter who they're facing. It doesn't matter if it's the Nationals. It doesn't matter if it's the Giants. They are going to secure runs on an everyday basis. And this offense, I don't know the numbers right now, so guys, maybe let me know in the chat through Fangraphs or whatever, but I'd have to imagine that this offense is either ranked first in baseball for runs scored or at least in that top 3, because they have just simply been on another level. And speaking of the offense, the man that was named the NL Player of the Week, the man who already has 40 RBIs on the season when he didn't hit 40 RBIs until September of last year in his first season as a Met, Francisco Lindor continues his franchise record streak as not just a shortstop, but as a Met now for the first time since 2006 for the likes of Carlos Beltran and others now. 9 straight games with an RBI for Francisco at a strong night. Gets himself an RBI single that drove in Tomas Nido, and also Mark Canha, 2 RBIs, that being for, yes, Francisco, Mr. Smile. I mean, for any of the Lindorks out there, as people love to call them, if you're going to criticize this man and his contract, I assure you now is not the time. And for all the people that have been ragging Lindor time and time again, let's not forget that his contract kicked in this season, folks. It wasn't last year. So the $341 million man is by all means playing up to that caliber. He's arguably the best shortstop in baseball right now. The Mets, as things currently stand, have some of the best players in all baseball at their respectable positions. Not just Lindor at short, but Jeff McNeal at second. Pete Alonso, one of the best first basemen in the game right now. Solid defense, but amazing offense that we get on a night-to-night basis. And again, this offense just continues to thrive. And to add insult to injury, the guy who I even saw someone say in the live stream prior to we went live, I don't know why he said that. Maybe it was a good jinx. And Eduardo Escobar, who was 1 for 3 for a run scored, got himself a beautiful 2-run shot to secure the Mets lead at that point, 10-0 over the Nationals. A beautiful bomb again. Love to see that for Eduardo Escobar, who I was hoping would find his swing. I said Escobar was one of 3 Mets that you should watch in this series, in our series preview, specifically because of the fact that he had that walk-off victory for the Mets against the Phillies. You had to get an idea that he was starting to get mojo because of that, some momentum, some positivity, and some confidence with that swing. And that held true today with 2 hits, including that massive 2-run shot to really, again, another day, another double-digit victory for the Amazings. You love to see that. But as a whole, folks, the Mets just dominated, simply put, on the offensive front like no tomorrow. And offensively, again, they just simply went through it. If you look at the Mets lineup tonight, folks, Mark Canha, 4 for 5. He's in my Warriors top 5. And after we actually take a moment to break down Warriors top 5, let me get some water quick because I'm getting cotton mouth as we speak from just talking so fast like I always do. So bear with me. But Canha, again, he asked me my number 1 star for him to come in the leadoff the same way that Gorman has really since Nimmo's been out in the lineup, at least. Whoever's in leadoff, they are thriving as if they're the best leadoff hitter in baseball. Gorman has been an on-base machine, one in leadoff and now in the 7th spot that we saw. But Canha, who's only batted in leadoff a handful of times this season, can command that role without a problem. He is a place setter. He gets on base, whether that's a hit by pitch, a walk, or a nice base knock. Again, base knocks was the case for Canha tonight. And that beautiful 2 RBI double, 4 for 5 with the double, the 2 RBIs, and the 2 runs scored. scored. My number 2 star, I got to give it to the man that's finally starting to find his swing. A beautiful contract when you sign 2 years at $20 million entering this season. And I honestly thought right from the get-go that contract would be one of the best bargain deals from this offseason in all of baseball. A slow start for Eddie, but he's starting to find the groove. And that's great, especially with the Mets having a brutal schedule coming up for not just the beginning of June, but really the entire June and for the majority of summer. You need a guy like him who's been an everyday player to find his swing and continue to deepen this lineup when you play the better teams of baseball, like the Dodgers, like the Angels, even though they've been slumping as of late, like the Padres, like the Houston Astros, among others, guys. And Eduardo, again, 2 for 4 with the home run, the 2 RBIs, and the 2 runs scored. Guys, shout out all you once more for chiming in, folks. Continue smashing on like and subscribe. If you to help us get to 200 plus likes by the end of the live show, it'd be greatly appreciated. No, I'm not going to go live for an hour like I normally do, just given the circumstances, as you can see, but I definitely will be going live enough to answer your donations and a couple of your comments before we wrap things up after I break down this game, folks. Again, appreciate everyone that's been chiming in. But my number 3 star, yes, only had 1 hit, but that is what broke open the ice from the Mets early in this one in Starling Marte. When you get a 2-run bomb and you have 6 RBIs in only 2 games of the series, yes, you deserve credit. And yes, you're going to get in Wardy's top 5. 1 for 5 with the home run and the 2 RBIs. My number 4 star, Trevor Williams. I got to give it to Trev. I know the offense was great, but let's give credit where credit's due. Against Trevor Williams, beautifully pitched ball, 5 innings, 3 hits, 0 earned runs. He ended up giving up 2 walks, 1 strikeout. And again, you don't need to be a strikeout machine, especially against a bottom feeder like the Nationals. You just want to eat innings, and that helped the Mets bullpen tonight. Trevor easily could have went 6 innings, but I appreciate the fact that he gave the Mets 5 strong. That's all you can ask for really a guy that's normally not in this rotation. And especially now, this takes off so much load off the shoulders of some of these relievers as well. Save Williams got worked early in this one. It definitely would have been more of a hassle than it needed to be. And after David Pearson not even going 5 yesterday, it was that much more vital for the relievers to get a little bit of rest before, again, they have this crucial West Coast trip coming up. But shout out to Williams, what a great outing for him. He now on the season has a 3.58 ERA. Take that to the bank any and every single day of the week. And then my number 5 star has to be Luis Gorman. When Gorman goes 2 for 5 with the 2 RBIs, again, he's a wizard in the infield. I would argue that Luis Gorman is probably the best defensive player for the Mets outside of maybe a Starling Marte, of course, and Francisco Lindor. He's just that good and that consistent. But one thing that has taken his game to another level truly this year, as a surprise to many, including myself, and don't get me wrong, Germany started to find his swing last year, but he took things to a new height this season. That's not an understatement. This guy right now, Luis Gorman, on the season is currently batting .365 with an over 900 OPS. Can we just take a moment to appreciate Luis Gorman, especially with Brandon Nimmo being out in the lineup? No Nimmo, no problem. That helps them continue to stay healthy. Again, the Mets are the oldest team in baseball, and Buck Showalter has been so brilliant in utilizing this entire lineup and making sure that everyone stays healthy the best they can. And even when they are dealing with some ailments, we know that the next man out mentality is fantastic. And it honestly reminds me a little bit of the San Francisco Giants last year and some more this year, but to a lesser degree because they haven't been to the same magnitude of success. But the Giants last year were so next man up. You didn't even know some of the guys that were in their lineup, and they were just thriving, hitting opposite field, getting RBIs, home runs left and right. The Mets have adopted that same philosophy of that next man up mentality. But this isn't the Joe Farguses of the world. This isn't the Khalil Lees of the world. This isn't, I don't even know. There's some, Cameron Maben, for example. I mean, the Mets finally have depth. I mean, Tovar, let's not forget him. The Mets finally have depth right now. That's quality depth. That's among the best in baseball with this bench. And Travis Jankowski, who's been out as well, give him even more credit. Even though that, yes, Nick Plummer didn't get the start tonight, Plummer, what he has done over the past couple games for the Mets has been huge. He's played himself into that role that Dom Smith would normally be in, so shout out to Plummer for that. But overall, this offense has just been lights out. And going through the lineup as a whole, folks, before I start to answer all your comments, questions, and concerns, again, appreciate everyone chiming in. Thank you all so much, as always, folks, live or on replay here on WardyNYM. But the Mets lineup, guys, as you see, we talked about Marcana, starting Marte, Lindor 1 for 5 with the 2 RBIs. We take that every single day of the week. Pete Alonso 1 for 3 with a run scored and was this close to his second home run in as many games. Pete right there, what was in the 7th or 8th inning, was so close to a bomb there in left field, but unfortunately that was just foul. No less Alonso, who's looking fantastic per usual. Another guy who had a solid outing tonight, again, has owned Patrick Corbin throughout his career. Didn't do as much owning tonight, but again, still a solid day at the plate, and that's what you need from your DH. And that surely was the case for JD Double D Davis, baby. Call 1-800-JD runs now. You love to see that. But JD 2 for 5 today with a run scored, a couple strikeouts, but again, was happy to see what he provided at the plate for the Mets. Jeff McNeal, again, one of the guys that you could rightfully argue should be in my top 5. I don't have him there, but seriously, he has been absolutely fantastic for the New York Mets. McNeal 3 for 4 with the 2 runs scored. We love that. Then going down further, Nick Plummer, he didn't get an at-bat. Luis Gorman, Tomas Nido, 1 for 4 with a run scored. If the Mets just get a hit on average from the catcher on every given night, I'm taking that because this offense is so deep. You don't need too much from your offense. You just need enough to get the job done when it comes to the catching position because you know how deep this lineup is and you have very little worry, at least at this point in time. The Mets right now, 17 games up, I believe, above 500 on the year. If they get the series sweep tomorrow, that's 18. They are just shy of 20 games above 500 as they enter June against the Dodgers. Talk about a cushion, guys. Even in a worst-case scenario where this team really struggles out west, they're going to have a cushion like no tomorrow. There are so many games up on the Braves and the Nationals and, of course, the Phillies. It's not even fair. To think that the Mets, this point, 51 games into the season, would basically have at minimum a 10-game lead at the next best team or close to, that's nothing short of chef's kiss. I'm so proud of this team. I feel spoiled that I'm watching them on an every game basis, and they're just doing it with ease now. They're having so much fun. They look relaxed, but I think what is so important about the Mets' success right now is the fact that they're not just doing this against subpar teams. Let's keep that in mind. The Mets on paper have one of the hardest schedules in all of baseball this season, and don't get me wrong, they haven't hit the brunt of it yet. That starts in June, and then in August, they have 15 games against the likes of the Braves, the Yankees, and the Dodgers. That isn't fun, but what is fun is the fact that no matter if it has been the Phillies, the Nationals, the Giants, the Cardinals, the Mets have been pistol whipping every single team that they have faced so far this season, and that definitely deserves some credit, to put it lightly. So shout out this team with the offense, what they have been doing. But guys, I'm so excited to start answering all your comments, questions, and concerns. It looks like I see some familiar faces in the chat that I'll be addressing here in a minute. My man, Giraffe, Mark, shout out to you, Mark. We'll be having so much fun and absolutely striking out at tomorrow's game. But guys, going to start answering all your comments right now. But for people on replay, which is none of you, let me know your thoughts and comments below, folks. How do you feel after another absolutely massive Mets victory, this time winning 10-0? You thought 13-5 was impressive enough last night? No. Now they win 10-0 against these Nats, and man, oh man, does that feel good to say. Another day, another series victory for the club, and now they're looking to, in fact, get themselves closer and closer to 20 games above 500, and who knows how that Dodgers series is going to go, but I do love the chances of them getting that much closer. So again, guys, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments for the people on replay. Who was your biggest standout in tonight's game and overall the series victory thus far? And how excited are you for, yes, this series finale tomorrow as the Mets look for their second consecutive sweep, eyeing a 6-game win streak? No, I will not be doing post-game tomorrow, guys, because like I said, I will be in a baseball game against professional baseball players. But regardless, I cannot wait to break that down for you. Cannot wait to break down the trip. And don't worry, I will be doing more post-games and hopefully a series preview for the Dodgers, if not tomorrow, then the following day. So stay tuned for that. Again, guys, let me know your thoughts down below. People in the live stream, let's start to answer all your comments, questions, and concerns now. But again, for people on replay, this is where I'll be cutting things off.